Welcome to Barely Maintaining, the ultimate podcast for die-hard Chicago Bears fans. Join your host, Ryan Burheit, and me, Michael Guyton, as we dive into all things Bears. From game analysis and player insights to the latest news and fan stories, Ryan and I cover it all. Whether cheering from Soldier Field or your living room, Barely Maintaining keeps you connected to your favorite team. Now, get ready to bear down. Welcome, everyone. This is our Walter Payton episode, our 34th episode of Barely Maintaining. We're pretty proud of that fact, getting 34 in, especially some of these in off season because there's weeks where nothing's really happening. We're kind of filling the gaps with some interviews with people around the Quad Cities. We'll be doing some reviews on places and things like pizzas and sandwiches and whatever we can find. Look forward to that. This week, we will be talking about free agency, obviously the winners and losers, kind of what happened during the week. There was all sorts of action, some kind of eyebrow-raising stuff, and then some pretty impressive, I think. Of course, we'll talk about the Bears moves because there was a lot of Bears moves, and I think from the outside looking in, judging by some of the grades they got from around the league, it looks pretty good from football analyst perspective. And then, of course, we'll talk about basketball, hockey. We got Ryan's Hockey in 5, I'm sure. We got some hockey to talk about this week. I saw Ovechkin's only like 7 or something away now.
Yeah.
He's creeping up on that record. And that's just all-time scorer, right?
Yep.
Most goals.
Yep.
Is that Wayne Gretzky? Is that who he's chasing there?
Yep.
So with that being said, there's got to be some news to talk about. I mean, with all these signings and trade, I know we'll get into that, but anybody get arrested this week?
So there's been obviously a ton of moves nonstop. One thing that I thought was pretty interesting was the Falcons planned on keeping Cousins through the end of tonight to take on that $10 million bonus that he was guaranteed if he was I think it was 7 o'clock tonight or something. It had to be done by, otherwise he was going to get that. So he got that. So
yeah, 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock was the deadline as well earlier, and they paid him, but they kind of had to, right? I mean, who's going to take that on? They were either going to pay him and he was going to play somewhere else, or they're keeping him and they're paying him, right?
Right.
It was kind of almost a Russell Wilson situation.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. That's what it looked like to me anyway. I don't know.
So you think they took that on to try and see if they could get a better deal out of him since it wouldn't be as much money, or?
Yeah, obviously you know what happens during spring training. Somebody gets injured.
Right.
You get a lot more equity. So they're not going to get nothing for him really if they can't right now, right?
Right.
No one wants to take on the guaranteed money, which is the Deshaun Watson situation.
Yeah.
It's like you're basically by guaranteeing that much money, you just hamstring your franchise for a few years, really.
Yeah.
Because it's a good percentage of your salary cap. I mean, what do you do?
Right. It doesn't ever seem to work out.
You think Cousins got in him?
I don't know.
Because when they benched him, he looked pretty bad for the 3 or 4 games stretch,
but he doesn't. It's just like Aaron. I mean, Rodgers ended up playing halfway decent. I mean, the last couple games of the year, but it's just those Achilles. They're planting on it every play, whether it be to hand the ball off or to, even if they're doing the pass, they're planting on it, and it doesn't seem like he trusted his at all, especially early in the year. You could visibly see he was lightly stepping on it instead of planting like he should.
And let's be honest, you don't have to be mobile, but you have to be mobile, right? You have to be able to go up into the pocket, and you have to move around to get those clear passing lanes and stuff. So, I mean, you're bouncing off that thing whether you want to or not,
Right.
to be in position. Cousins never I felt like Aaron Rodgers got better, he got healthier. It felt like Kirk Cousins was kind of just up and down the whole season, and then Penix kind of seemed like he stabilized their situation after, at least you knew kind of what you could do.
Penix looked bright. I'm excited to see him this year, to see what
he looked better than he did in college too. So I feel like he up in preparation for NFL game maybe, but
Yeah.
he did. I don't know. He looked a lot more. You don't know what the ceiling is at least. So like Kirk Cousins, it's like man, the ceiling's lowering.
Right.
Sure,
And Cousins
never.
doesn't want to be that guy, right? Like Cousins doesn't want to be the backup.
I don't know.
I don't think he's
I'm
ready to accept that yet.
yeah, I'm sure not. Um, and no, and he's always had something to prove because he could never win on like prime time and some of
Yeah.
those situations. Um,
Yeah.
I think he's like really bad record on like Thursday nights and Monday night.
Yeah. One of the news stories this week was Brett Favre encourages Aaron Rodgers to play for Vikings. That's a good place to win. I wanted to have I want it to happen so bad. Just
Also giving advice on how to get PPE loans from the government.
it's, it's so funny.
Oh, can you just get out of our lives, man? What the hell, bro?
And then one of the other ones that I thought was pretty funny was Amon-Ra St. Brown. Did you see his video where he's like, it just looks like they have unlimited money with the Bears. Like they're just spending money nonstop.
Yeah. And
Which,
also like that talking to his brother.
yeah,
Um, his brother's like, Tell Ben Johnson to call me."
yeah,
He's like, so like people want to come, you know what I mean?
yeah.
So
It's exciting to be like one of the spots. Like and it seemed like players were willing to uh take a little less to go to the Bears too. Like they were getting offers and they took the Bears over those places.
yeah, that was kind of that's the rumors I heard anyway from that Dahlman signing, the center from Atlanta. He
Yeah,
was offered money elsewhere and took the Bear. But part of it's hometown. I think he's from the area or something. And other part of it I think is people want to play in Ben Johnson's offense.
yeah,
Um, because I think especially, the way he schemes it up, he's gonna make you look good. So even if you're not
yeah.
spending your whole career there, you're at least making a name for yourself.
Yeah, I was a little scared too that this off season would just be like 100% we're going straight into only offense, but it was a good balance and like nobody really left the defense other than like like I'm excited that it went both ways and we didn't just focus. What we've done in the past is like we'll like do an off season where it's like we get our defensive minded coach and it's only defense. We're only doing defensive stuff. We're not
Yeah.
worrying about the offense anymore. So it's nice to see an offensive minded coach come in and still have the side where we want to fight both. And it probably helps that uh Dennis Allen, right, is our defensive coordinator. Yeah,
Yep.
that he was a head coach and he's probably pushing to have, you know, you take care of your offense, but also make sure you're taking care of my defense because you're not going to win a championship without a good defense too. So
Some of my buddies that, you know, like me think they know a lot about football anyway, and I trust their opinion on some stuff. They were like, Ben Johnson, oh yeah, great offense, but your defense wasn't doing much,
yeah,
towards the end of the year, whatever. And then we got Dennis Allen, and they were like, okay, that makes sense now because they got a defensive head coach, on that side. And if you don't micromanage and let him do his thing, I think he can run a great defense. He has in the past. So,
yeah. Coulter
um,
Rogers asked how our day was. So
what's that?
TikTok, we have a viewer, Coulter Rogers. He said, "Hey, how's your day going?" So
It's going good, man. We've where we live, the weather is bipolar, how I call it.
yeah,
Yesterday
that
was
storm was crazy.
like a beach day, and today was like a fall
Even
rain day.
even yesterday was a beach day into a hellhole. This day is shit show of a
Yeah,
storm.
I'm gonna tease you, and then so I lived in California for a while, and when my buddies from California ask how the weather is it good or bad? I say yes,
Yeah,
and it's usually the same day.
80 degrees to 100-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah, yeah, and I always call it like second winter, third spring. What you know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's
fall,
like, oh,
spring, and yeah,
here comes third winter. Yeah, so we try good day as far as living a good life. Weather sucks, and we got to stay indoors most of it though.
yeah. He says same here, or same with me. I hate it. So
Yeah, Yeah. But I lived in California, and where it's nice, there's a lot of people, and that can get real annoying too. So
Yeah.
you got to go where there's crappy weather to get away from some of the craziness sometimes. But I get it. Uh, the easiest job in the world is weather person in San Diego. Hire
Yeah.
actors because you don't have to know the weather. It's going to be sunny and warm. Might be a cloud layer until noon that'll burn off. The waves are 3 foot. See you tomorrow. And it's just some beautiful lady using, out of college. Um, yeah, wasn't there? Oh yeah, there was like a wide receiver from the Kansas City Chiefs or somebody who was under arrest for domestic violence.
Yeah.
Xavier Worthy
Yeah.
and
Xavier
that
Worthy.
something. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
He was like arrested on Friday and was released by Sunday, I think, or Saturday night.
In
And just
the
was like,
original like arrest, they were talking there was a strangulation of somebody in his household, and then the
yeah.
charges were
Yeah. So I wasn't really
somebody.
sure what the heck happened there. Yeah.
My name's Xavier. He's like, okay, I want to play football still. I only got
Yeah.
one season in. I
Yeah.
got that.
I don't want to only be known as the fastest 40.
Yeah,
I would like to also,
yeah,
have the rest of it as well.
yeah. He about hung out with Henry Ruggs.
Yeah.
Couldn't buy his way out of that one. Yeah. So there's not much news other than the free agency stuff, right? So we'll
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of get
yeah.
in about it.
If there was any
Uh,
news, it just got overshadowed. And
yeah, there's I mean, other than the minor stuff here and there, some retirements or whatever, we'll get into that free agency stuff here in a second. I'm gonna tell them about something here. Happy Ken. And then when we come back, we'll talk about the I want to ask you a couple questions about some of the free agency moves. Kind of your
yeah.
opinion and what your thoughts.
All right, Bears fans, before we dive back into the game talk, we've got to shout out today's sponsor, the Happy Can.
If you're looking for a refreshing way to unwind after a long day without the alcohol, but with all the chill vibes, the Happy Can is definitely where it's at.
Happy Can is a lab tested, vegan friendly, alcohol free beverage that's infused with THC and CBD. Whether you're kicking back at home or catching up with friends, it's the perfect way to relax without the hangover.
Exactly. It's crafted for those of us who are over 21 and want to enjoy the benefits of THC and CBD without any of the alcohol. Plus, it's delicious, responsibly sourced, and did we mention it's vegan friendly?
Yep, no sketchy ingredients, just pure chill in a can. So if you're looking for something new to sip on, grab yourself a Happy Can and keep those good vibes going.
Make sure to check them out on buythehappycan.com and use code barelyhappy for a special discount for just our listeners. Cheers to a happy, healthier way to unwind.
Happy Can, because life's better when you're chill.
Make sure you check out the Happy Can. Obviously, we're pushing Happy Can, but we actually really do enjoy them as well. They are good if you like to chill and don't necessarily like alcohol. Which I'm not a non-drinker, but I don't drink very often, so I
Yeah.
try not to indulge too much because when I do, it's like always too much, even if it's one drink. I took my wife to a fancy restaurant in Chicago last year, and it was a wine pairing. So you get a little like sip of wine with each course, and it was 8 courses. By six, I was like, it was actual glass of wine. How much I have actually drank? You know what I mean? So yeah, my Asian blood can't take alcohol very well. Plus, I don't drink enough to, be good at it. So my questions were just a couple. Your thoughts on the Fields to Jets?
I think that's kind of great for him. Kind of get a little bit of a redemption. They got a great offensive line, so that should help him out a lot. I don't want to see him fail. Like
Not at
he was a
all.
fun quarterback. It's just he has so many like it's high or low, and it's no in between. Like he isn't an average quarterback. It's
It's
either
so
he's going to have an awful day or a good day.
you watch him some of the passes from college and even with the Bears. DJ Moore, some of those deep, it's just beautiful. But man, you got one of those every 4 or 5 games, you know?
And then you got
Uh,
the scramble backwards for 20 yards, put the ball on the ground type of play,
yeah.
which like it can't happen either.
Loaf of bread,
Yeah.
you know?
But they got a
But
good offensive line, and they got Breece Hall, so that should help him out a lot. He's got some good receivers.
um, depending on who offensive coordinator is too, because they got a defensive minded
Yeah,
coach now.
yeah,
But he obviously wanted to go out and get him. He's part of that decision, right?
right.
Depending. I think the owner's 15-year-old son might have something to say about it too. Maybe he just wanted Fields, you know.
Yeah,
Uh, but he also went to college with Garrett Wilson, right? So
yeah,
back, so
I think so.
that probably helped too. There's already that chemistry.
Yeah,
Um, we kind of obviously had an ulterior motive, yes, last year rooting for him because the more games he played, the closer we got to a better pick out of that deal. But we like Justin Fields. We've
yeah.
liked every book. I'm not down on any of them really. I wanted them all to succeed. Obviously, there's more talent in other. I've I maybe I'm biased, but isn't it obvious that Caleb is a better quarterback than Justin?
I would say so at this point.
He didn't get a better line. He actually almost set the record for being sacked the most.
And yeah, and also it's like the biggest complaint about Justin was he held the ball too long, which Caleb also needs to fix. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah,
but also
yeah.
he threw way more yards and like less interceptions, doing the same exact thing.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Not even just only interceptions, but turnovers in general.
Yeah,
Just doesn't fumble, doesn't throw interceptions very often.
yeah,
And that right there is like huge because you live to fight another down.
yeah.
Um,
The biggest
and
thing he needs to work on is it's not USC anymore. Try and make the play for like 3 seconds max, and then just get rid of the ball.
yeah, it's 3 5 step drop, boom, 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 bing,
Yeah,
boom, boom, boom. You know, um, but I think Ben Johnson, he'll move the pocket, he'll give him opportunities better, and because I'll talk about it, but PFF, we got an A grade from PFF, I believe, for our free agency, um, compared to the rest of, which is fairly good, other than the Vikes, they did good as well. But so
a lot of the
we're
Vikings moves were kind of quiet, but they did. Yeah, they did good.
yeah, yeah. But it's hard to not be optimistic because they are building from the trenches out. But I told myself this year, I'm just going in and I want to see wins. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Before I get too excited. But yeah, I mean, not that I'm an analyst, but from an analyst standpoint, the Dahlman signing was huge in the center. And then you went out and got traded for Joe Tooney and Jonah Jackson. So now you're guards. So now you got the three interior guys, right?
yeah,
Um, this side we always said Darnell Wright, right, is the tackle on the right side. Um,
yes.
and he's great. And then left tackle, I guess you
Do
have
you do
Evan
you
Jenkins.
think this sets up Genty?
I hope not, and this is why. Because I would rather, instead of a skill position, just build depth. Because
Yeah,
it's not like Joe Tooney, Jonah Jackson, and Dahlman are young. You know what I mean?
right, right,
So let's start developing 2-3 years out, and you're one ankle injury away from that middle of the line not being what it is. You know what I mean?
right.
Yeah. What if the Dahlman gets injured? You got to move Tooney over to center. Like what happens? Who's filling those spots? So I want to build depth because you could get like a Joe out there.
Right.
You know, like a guy that's generational, and that might not even have to start.
Yeah.
That's my take on it. I would like a non-flashy pick because we've kind of went out and done the stuff we needed to do for free agency to be conservative in the draft.
Right.
Especially since you can pick up probably Caleb Johnson in second or probably third.
Yeah.
You got 2 picks in the second. We got 3 picks in the top 50. So it's like I would, Genty's a flashy pick, but just don't know. And it's like I would have loved to see him against like SEC,
Right.
or even like top tier Big Ten.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
in a situation that really matters.
Especially when it's such a deep running back class that.
And I hate to say it. I mean, he might be the Saquon Barkley of this class or whatever, but he might also just be, Rico Dowdle.
Yeah. And like, I mean, as an Iowa
It was
guy,
a great run
I
back, but who? You know what I mean?
yeah, as an Iowa guy, I wouldn't hate Caleb Johnson because honestly, Caleb Johnson is the more type of running back we need on the opposite side of Swift. Because
Sure.
obviously Swift isn't the fastest guy in the world, but also he is.
For Bushan, like, couldn't he be much better with this line?
Yeah, I would assume
Because he's
so.
kind of an inside runner, isn't he?
Yeah.
A power run.
Yeah.
Swift was kind of your outside.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's so we don't really have to.
Yeah.
Right?
But I mean, Caleb Johnson would be fun to have.
Yeah. And I
As an
think that's
Iowa fan and a Bears fan, I
Go
just
watch-
want.
anybody listening and wondering, go watch his highlights.
Yeah.
Go watch him run. I think he looks like Ashton Genty a lot when you
Yeah.
watch some of his highlights.
Yeah. I just, as a Bears fan and as an Iowa fan, I am just. I would love it.
I just don't necessarily want to spend that top pick on that.
Yeah. That'd be second round. I mean, theoretically, that should be second
Yeah,
round.
doing the second round.
Yeah. So I'll take it second.
Go with another lineman, either defensive or offensive, and then that second pick in the second, he's probably sitting there.
Because wide receiver core isn't really needed. Obviously, like, is Keenan? What happened? Is Keenan Allen re-signing? Not re-signing?
Apparently, nobody signed Keenan Allen. I haven't heard nothing about him. I heard actually that he wanted to go back to LA. Obviously,
Yeah, it was either one of the LA teams or stay in Chicago.
Yeah,
I would love for him to take a big pay cut because obviously he's not going to get that big paycheck and just help Caleb one more year.
Yeah,
and a Dunze, like, because he opened up a Dunze a ton.
We also picked up that that Zacchaeus from Washington Commanders, a wide receiver.
Oh, really?
Yeah, who is like an older wide receiver, but he's very serviceable. So I thought that kind of meant that Keenan Allen was out then, you know?
Yeah.
But also wide receivers, there's about 10 billion of them that are in the draft, you know? If you don't need a number one, because a number one you'd have to go after in the first round anyway, or second, you know?
Right.
Wide receivers are going to hot pick in this draft based on quarterbacks not being there.
Yeah. Bulls just lost.
What's that?
Bulls just lost.
Yeah.
117 to 114. Yeah. Yeah. As much as they're trying to tank, they still have the play-in game for the playoff. They can't get rid of it because other teams are tanking so much
Like
worse.
90% of the damn NBA gets in the playoffs.
Yeah. But they're in the play-in game, so they don't even get to be a part of like the good playoffs.
They did it last year too.
Yeah. Like
They got whooped up on.
You're not even good at tanking. Like, what are you good at this point?
And what are they taking for? Super
yeah, I would assume that's really the only, which hasn't officially said if he's going to come out or not, right?
Yeah, so, and I don't. It's a lottery anyway, so you don't even know you're going to get that pick.
Right.
It's kind of set up because it's like when Derrick Rose was the number one pick to Chicago.
Yeah.
Cleveland had the number one pick. It was LeBron. It's like, what are the odds of that?
Right.
Especially since they had like one ball in there. Like every other team had like 8 balls in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's weird that they do it that way. Why don't they just do it like the NFL? First is first. Best is last. Pretty simple. Who won the finals? You're picking last. So yeah, back to the Bears on those signings. We did pick up edge. Deo, I won't even attempt to say his last name. Actually, before I go into our list, that was the other thing I wanted to ask you about Atlanta. What you thought about what they're doing, or like what is, you know what I mean?
It's Odie Ingbo, by the way.
Okay.
I'm like,
nice.
I'm pretty sure.
Nah, that sounds good to me. I'll refer to you to say it. I don't know. Every time I look at it, it confuses me. Just
watching the NFL news and stuff, trying to keep up for this. I've been trying to pick up on names because there's some freaking hard ones.
Yeah,
especially on the Bears roster.
Yeah, we re-signed linebacker Amen.
Yeah,
Bimiga.
Yeah, that one I still can't figure that one out.
brother, call into the podcast. That's how to pronounce your name. So Atlanta, what are you thinking? About them with the Kirk Cousins and like, they've really not. They obviously lost their center. Like, what are they up to? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, I think like we talked a little bit before. Was it before? Or I don't even remember, to be honest. The Kirk Cousins stuff. I think they are going to just take that bullet to try and trade him off a little later because somebody's going to want him. I mean, honestly, New York still isn't figured out. Pittsburgh still isn't figured out for quarterbacks. So those are two pretty big ones that are gonna like. New York's gonna try and do something big because Gable's gonna try and save his job and the GM, to be honest. And this is kind of probably their last year to do that, right? I would assume so.
I
So
heard it's good. Wants to be there because he doesn't have to move out of New York.
yeah. So then Pittsburgh needs somebody, right? Because Mason Rudolph is fixing it.
They also signed Daniel Jones. Oh no, that was Colts.
Yeah, that was Colts, which that's still not.
I thought they
solvent. I
signed
don't know.
somebody besides Mason Rudolph.
I don't think they had yet. The they had yet.
And then your thoughts on Darnold going to Seahawks?
I mean, he got there just for everybody to freaking leave him.
That's
Tyler
true.
Lockett left or is gone.
Yeah.
DK Metcalf is gone. He got Smith and Jigba though, and Cooper Kupp now, which is nice.
But Smith and Jigba is only a good number one if you have a good number two.
Which it depends on what Cooper Kupp you're getting, right? Yeah, it depends on what Cooper Kupp you're getting. Because Cooper Kupp definitely looked a little slower last year.
And I believe in Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
I think he's really motivated. But again, you're missing some pieces.
Yeah. Who do they have as tight end right now?
Fant. Aren't they?
Is he there or is he in? I can't remember. I always forget if he was drafted by, because it was Denver and Seattle, and I can't remember if he was drafted by Denver and went to Seattle, or if he was drafted in Seattle and went to Denver. I can never remember.
Yeah.
He was part of that trade that sent.
I guess
Drew Lock
drafted by Denver, ended up in Seattle.
Yeah.
Because I just don't ever hear about Seattle, and I feel like that's where he was up there playing very well, and never heard about him.
He's
and then
a
my
very
third
quiet, good tight end.
Yeah. I don't think he's obviously not like a top 5, but he's not a lower 5 either. You know what I mean? Low 5.
I would put him on the same level as like Komet, where he's not like astronomical, but he's a great tight end to just have.
Yeah. He's second tier for an Iowa tight end, let me tell you.
Yeah, and it's because Hawkinson is the better. That was the same draft class.
Hawkinson, Laporta.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Hawkinson and Fant were like 3 draft picks.
Anyway.
Yeah, they were 3 draft picks apart.
That's funny.
Or like something close.
I mean, not really, but that's actually pretty amazing. But
yeah,
I just wanted to ask you about the Chargers. See what your thoughts were. They re-signed Mike Williams. They got Mekhi Becton, so they're both up their line.
Re-signed Mac. Let go of Joey Bosa. I'm assuming letting go of Joey Bosa brought back Mac, right?
Yeah.
There was like, okay, we do have a few extra bucks. Let's get Mac back here.
And I don't think Bosa did much. I mean, he was pretty quiet last year.
Yeah. Honestly,
but
honestly, Mac has been lighting it up. Obviously, it helps to have somebody like Bosa on the other side, but I think that Mac was lighting it up quite a bit. But yeah, they look like they're doing pretty good. I don't know. I feel like the Chargers are going to charge her like they do every year, though, and just kind of.
Well, it sounds like to me what they're setting up, because they got Najee Harris, they got J.K. Dobbins. They're setting up to like take the load take some miles off of Justin Herbert. He's got shillelied at the end of that. And
he's such a good quarterback, and he never gets like. He's just always in trouble.
They're starting to turn into that first team in the playoffs out.
Yeah.
Team. They got the Jaguars' ass kicked. Then Washington, I think, did it to him this year.
Yeah.
Somebody did to him this year too.
Yeah, I
It was
can't remember
Texas.
who it was. Texans, yes.
So it's like, I
Yeah, because
felt
they
like
were
they
up like quite a bit in that game, and then all of a sudden Texans just like turned it on, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So yeah, it's just like got to get that figured out because there's two different coaches doing that. So
right.
yeah, that's like the Cowboys of like early mid 2000s. You know, that's what it felt like. Is like yeah, they
Yeah,
kept getting. Everyone's like they're so good, they're a
I
playoff
would say
team, and
that
they lose
I would
playoffs
say the
every time.
Cowboys of now, but I mean they don't even
Yeah,
get to
but
the
they didn't
playoffs.
even make the play. But even when they did, they got smoked by Green Bay at home,
Yeah,
and they
it's
have the same.
also wild to me that Jer- Josh Allen got that extension and stuff, and is like making a ton of money. It's still not being paid more than Dak Prescott.
Here's my impression of the GM of the Buffalo Bills. Josh, you need more money. I know you have
But
4 years left. Do you want more money?
but
What's it gonna take?
you know that it's done in the way that like he's not making like
Yeah,
anywhere near the most. Like yes,
yeah,
his contract's really far out, but also like he's really
yeah.
not a
Yeah, he's
high.
doing the top.
Yeah, I'm being
But
paid.
he's got
He
Haley Steinfeld now. Like, what
yeah
does he need the money for, dude? He's
he
got his just.
he had an interview. And he's like, "What's 5 more million to me actually gonna do in my life? Like, let's save that for the team." Like,
More million. Give me $5.
also when he
Change my.
won the MVP, his like the video the Bills team made for him with the um hospital kids was like tear jerking. I don't know if you ever saw that, but that was sad.
Yeah, yeah,
And he remembered like
yeah.
every one of their names.
I know. But man, just think all that money to lose to a guy that talks like this.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Josh.
Only in the playoffs.
I know. Yeah, only when it really, really counts.
Yeah. So he doesn't lose during the season.
And it wasn't because of him either. They played their asses off to try to win that game, and they were like a play away from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
We were
damn.
robbed of a great Super Bowl if the Bills and the Eagles had.
It kind of was great in the fact that it happened what everyone kind of wanted. That's not a Kansas City fan
Yeah.
wanted to happen. We wanted to see them stop, not get the third one, and get their ass whooped.
We saw backups in a Super Bowl.
They made a statement.
Yeah.
They made a statement for sure.
That was
And
amazing.
it wasn't even like, hey, did a little Saquon up the middle the whole game.
No, he
Like,
honestly was stuffed most of the game.
He was pretty quiet. It was honestly like Jalen Hurts and the receiving core.
And Cooper DeJean.
They did that long ass play, and it was over from that one long bomb.
It was over from the Cooper DeJean pick six.
Yeah, that too.
But I think the next drive was the Devontae Smith touchdown.
Yeah, because they came right out.
Just bombed into him. Oh, by the way, speaking of Alabama player, what happened to Alabama and Florida? What the heck?
I don't know. Florida's pretty good though.
Yeah, but Bama lost by like 20 or so points, right?
Yeah.
I was like, what the heck?
Game because I was working, but they didn't look like they were on.
No.
Like,
but
they
also
failing the whole time.
Also, Florida's a team that has to win the tournament to get a good seed. Alabama's already got a good seed.
Yeah.
So.
But and it's really gonna how they do in the tournament's gonna really obviously depend on who they're matched up against.
Yeah.
Because that's Florida's a matchup nightmare for them. The way they're set up. You know what I mean? And that's the way basketball goes. Auburn's kind of like set up exactly like Alabama.
They lost too, right?
Yeah, I think so. But they also are a really good team. I think they might be ranked number 1 still. But so having having Auburn right there, being good too. You know what I mean? So it's like going to beat up on each other a little bit, and then in the tournament, they're probably obviously not going to be seated in the same bracket, but
right.
So real quick, PFF grades that I saw. It might have been Yahoo Sports. It's maybe not PFF, but the grades for the draft I saw were the Bears A, Lions C, Green Bay C-, and the Vikes in A. We revamped offensive and defensive line within the matter of a few days, honestly.
Yeah.
And what analysts say around the league is that Joe Tooney signing was huge. Jonah Jackson wasn't as as high, but like if you look at kind of the Madden rating number on him, he's in that low 80s. You know what I mean? Which is a huge upgrade. And then you add a center, which was important to me. He's kind of an undersized center from what I read, but so they're the knock on him. They said he doesn't really fit in Ben Johnson's offense, but I'm like, if you look at Ben Johnson, that's what he's good at is adapting, right?
Yeah.
Like his offense to what his players do good. It's like, where can we put you in a position to succeed? Not, hey, fit in this mold.
Yeah. You know what
Um,
I thought was funny? That the Ravens didn't do anything for the defense, which is the problem, and just got a tackle and another receiver and spent more
yeah,
money on those guys. The offense wasn't the problem.
and an old receiver at that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I just thought that was like, what the heck? Like, why go get those two? Like, the tackle probably helps, but they needed defensive guys.
Yeah.
And also, like, this might be a like hot take or whatever, but Damar Hamlin's only still in the NFL because he almost died on the field, right?
I don't know, man. They're giving him a lot of money to.
But he's not that
Yeah,
good.
he seemed like a little bit of a liability.
And it's just 1 year contracts over and over again.
Yeah.
And so I just
Are you going to guarantee money to a guy that dies?
yeah, like 1 year, 3 million, 2 million guaranteed.
And hope comes back. I don't know. I think it definitely um leaves them to open up their pocketbook a little more probably than they would for another player. Right?
He racked up 10 stops, 5 for no gain or a loss. He looked to clean up his tackling for 2024 as he missed 13 attempts last season.
One question I did want to ask you: what is your thoughts on the Carolina Dallas exchange of running backs? Rico Dowdle goes to Carolina. Miles Sanders goes to Cowboys. What is Cowboys' obsession with kind of over 30-year-old running backs?
I don't know. Like, and their line's not like their line's downgrading. Like they've lost a couple.
It's not the line it used to be,
Yeah,
obviously.
I mean it's definitely going downhill. I don't know what the heck they're because Miles Sanders wasn't like I don't,
Didn't do nothing.
yeah,
Carolina. He was good when he was in Philly.
yeah.
That's how he got
How many years
a
ago was
gig.
that?
3?
Because Swift has been between those two, right?
Yes. Yeah.
It was
Yep.
Swift would have been what 2 years ago now because Barkley was
Yep.
this year, and then
Yeah.
was it
You're
Sanders before that?
pretty sure they might have had a guy between then.
Yeah,
'Cause Sanders, I'm pretty sure, has been in Carolina for a few years. He just hit free agency. You know what I mean? So whatever
yeah.
contract he signed there, he probably played out.
And then they re-signed Carolina re-signed Thielen too.
Yeah. Okay.
He's also 80 years old.
And they need help, do they not, on the line?
Yeah, I would say so.
But I will say, like, there's places, and I'm not bragging or nothing. I mean, maybe I am a little bit. That Chicago's a bigger city, and like, there's more things that attract them because, like, there's places that don't have income tax and stuff, and there's high taxes in Chicago, but players still want to
Yeah,
come here. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Versus Green Bay, the kind of the rumors and rumbling is around the league is that the Green Bay overpaid for the couple players they got, which is Aaron Banks and a guard and Nate Hobbs. Four
right.
year 70 millions for the guard and 4 year 48 million for. But they have to overpay, do they not, to get guys to come to Green Bay? Because what's in Green Bay? What are you doing in Green Bay besides playing football? Football's everything there.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, there's more to life than you know what I mean. So
right. Is
let's be honest. Aaron Rodgers was living in California and playing football, and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you
Well,
know,
is Milwaukee even anywhere near? I don't even know where Green Bay is, to be honest. I'm that's awful to say, but obviously it's in Wisconsin. I know that, but
yeah, I've been there. There's not. I mean, it's like the Quad Cities having a team. Maybe not even all the Quad Cities. Maybe like 3 of the 4 as far as population goes. It's all about football. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so I think there is an
Oh,
advantage
it's like
to
up on the point or in between
yeah,
a little. Okay.
it's way up there, man.
Yeah, so it's not even like by Milwaukee or Madison or anything down low. It's up there all
Yeah.
by itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know what you're doing up there. There's a zoo.
Let me tell about Dead Threads real quick, and then we'll come back and talk about some hockey a little bit.
Yeah.
Tell me what's going on around the
Also,
league, if there's action there. And then of course we got to talk about this tournament a little bit coming up. So I got to
yeah.
get your thoughts on who you think is going to be good. And Iowa,
Yeah.
just got rid of their coach, right?
And there's another tournament. Did you see that?
Oh, really?
The Crown tournament or whatever it's called.
Interesting. No, I didn't. We'll have
Yeah.
to talk about that. If you're all about expressing yourself through what you wear, then you got to check out Dead Threads. They got the most wicked collection of t-shirts that scream individuality. Want vintage vibes with your favorite team? Dead Thread has a team for every vibe and every occasion. Whether you're chilling at home, hitting the streets, or even hosting your own podcast like me and Ryan. Make sure you use code BARELY for 10% off. Check out their stuff. They got new stuff all the time, and it is always cool. They got good designers over there, so go check it out. Dead Threads. Yeah. Before we do hockey, I did want to mention that it's not getting much talk, but so honorable mention here of Durham Smythe, the tight end.
Oh yeah. You literally said before that you recorded the podcast you wanted to mention him, and
then and I forgot, like everyone else. You know, he's kind of faded in there because we did get Grady Jarrett, which is kind of a, he's had some flashes with Atlanta.
he's not even on the PFF.
Durham Smythe?
Yeah.
There's nothing about him. It just says 1 year contract. It doesn't say the amount or nothing.
Weird.
Did somebody confirm this? And also, are we stealing draft picks? Somebody looking at the story? Because if you look at it, it just says we're just announcing one of the picks as ours, and it's not supposed to be one of Carolina's picks.
Is Carolina such a pushover team that we just get that pick though?
This is ours now. We're like the of the league now.
Carolina's just like, oh, okay.
And Johnson came over, and now we're just gangsters, hell.
Oh, it's great. Also, I forgot to mention it. Grady Jarrett, loving the fact that he gets to hit Jordan Love even more, and called him a whiny ass bitch. Like, yep. I love it.
Did you see the in game?
Yeah.
Little bitch. You're a bitch. Finally, man.
Yeah. It reminds me of Akeem Hicks.
Yeah.
Who would literally bark while chasing quarterbacks.
That's Tariq Stevenson stuff, you know?
Yeah.
That type of like intensity. Like
but also cover on a Hail Mary, please.
Don't even go down there. It would have got it if you didn't deflect it to him 10 yards back.
Yeah, fair.
It's like, I threw a Hail Mary. No, he didn't, actually. Do it 10 yards short, and Tariq freaking laid it up to him.
He alley-ooped it.
That was my dark horse for last year. Not picking a dark horse this year.
No, it was a dark horse, and I mean, he made headlines.
Yeah, I'm going to pick a dark horse for Green Bay, so it ruins his career. I'm like the Madden curse. It's the barely maintaining dark horse curse. This year, it's Jordan Love.
Smythe did make the Chicago Bears website.
Did? Okay, cool. So he might have actually been in the building.
Yeah.
He's just there for free.
But then again, our website does say that we just get that pick as well. So I don't I don't really know what that means, to be honest.
Ryan Poles rocks out for the number 1 pick. This is my pick now.
Is this I don't know what it is. There's just a whole new swagger to this team.
We'll be picking Jackson Dart. What?
They just call Carolina. So who are you gonna pick on this pick? All right, he's ours now.
Let's see. I just want to mention, ask you, I guess, would you like some more help on the defensive line? Do you think we need it? Because we still have Billings, right? He was injured this season, so he comes back. Now you have Jarrett with him on the interior. You have obviously Montez Sweat, and then the gentleman from the Colts. I won't even attempt. We just signed in free agency.
Oh yeah. I have to look at it to read it. Give me a second.
yeah. I have to pronounce every syllable out.
Odiingbo.
Okay. Yes.
I just have to look at it.
Perfect. Do you think any more help there, or do you think he's enough? Von Miller's out there. Zadarius Smith. Judon.
I was trying to think because I mean, honestly, we had
Sweat going to the Cardinals didn't hurt a little bit, right? Josh Sweat.
I did want him, but
for 4 years, $6 million, dude. No,
but
no.
I
that
think
kind of money.
with Odiingbo and Grady Jarrett, that shores up that. I don't know. I think our backups did great last year. It's just the fact that they had to be full-time players all the time because everybody got hurt. So, and then who's your defensive end that you really like? Rookie last year. Why am I blanking on his name?
Von Dexter?
No.
Hardy?
Nope. Rookie last year. Edge rusher, get 5th round, I think.
Oh, jeez.
Why am I drawing a blank? Yeah. What the hell?
Real quick. Why we looked that up, I do want to mention that we also got that Deo for a really good deal because Cleo Mack signed for $18 million for 1 year. Josh Sweat was $76 million for 4 years, which equates to almost $20 million. 1 year, $14 million for Hassan Reddick. 1 year, $12 million for Ponce. AOONCE re-signed with Las Vegas Raiders.
Booker.
Not familiar with. Oh yeah, Booker.
Yeah. Jeez. That was gonna drive me crazy. I think he now he gets to learn behind 2 good defensive ends.
Yeah, and we signed Deo to a 3-year, $48 million, which shakes out to what? No.
Yeah. I think maybe you pick up some cheap pieces if they're there, but I think you got a pretty good defensive line there because, like I said, it's not like the defensive line was awful. It's just they were thrown into a situation where the backups were supposed to be the starters for the whole season, basically.
Also, like the guy who was the leader got fired.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you just went through, that took the wind out of the sails. And I mean, honestly, we didn't mentally. I don't feel like they recovered after the Hail Mary. Really?
Yeah. No, definitely not.
Because we just went on a 10-game losing streak. Let me run this. Let me tell them about Fanatics real quick, and then we'll talk about hockey. I want to hit on that. And learn some stuff.
Hey guys, just want to take a break from the podcast to tell you about Fanatics. Fanatics, you can find everything you need to support your team, from jerseys and hats to hoodies and accessories. We've got it all. It's officially licensed, so you know you're getting the real deal. Here's the best part. We've teamed up with Fanatics to bring you an exclusive offer. When you use the code 24SHIP at checkout, you'll get free shipping on orders over $24. Just by using our special link in the show notes on our website, you'll be able to directly support our podcast. So head over to fanatics.com, load up the best Bears gear, and use code 24SHIP for free shipping on orders over $24. A win-win to show off your Bears pride and help keep Barely Maintaining going strong. Thank you for your support, and as always, bear down. Now let's get back to
the podcast is what Ryan was going to say there. I cut him off. That copy. Do check out Fanatics. So hockey.
I should put on the
helmet. Just
I don't even know
this is a side. Yeah, get your helmet out. Why looking for his helmet? I will just tell him Ryan's going on a side quest here coming up. He's taking Max son to a local hockey game, which will be cool. We're gonna have some somebody from the local team on and talk about him too. So we'll update you on that when that's going to be. I look forward to those conversations too, because again, I'm a learner here on hockey, so having Ryan to kind of bounce ideas off of, and then talking to someone who actually is engulfed in the sport is going to be fun for me to really get interested in the sport.
Put it with my bag and then put my bag inside.
Put it on.
What?
I'm hockey now. Russian dude hit little black thing towards Canadian guy.
It must have been nice to pick it up and then not.
Canadian guy was missing teeth and punched him in the face.
I just hold my hockey stick. Just hold that next to me.
Put it in your mouth.
But yeah, there's some fun news this week. Some sad news too, but that's only out of my own depression.
Gotcha. Blackhawk stuff.
Yeah.
Copy that.
That
be depressed. Sport, man.
Yeah. As a Hawkeye fan, Blackhawk fan, Cubs fan, Bears fan, Bulls fan.
I usually have Alabama, dude. I don't even got that anymore.
Yeah.
Alabama.
You do for basketball right now.
Do I? Did you watch the Florida game?
Yeah. Yeah.
Games at least.
Yeah. Going into some NHL news though. So my sad news is, Connor Bedard is just depressed. He's cussing out refs, getting 10-minute majors. So that happened, and then
why?
He was tripped and it wasn't called, and he's just pissed off at the world because the Blackhawks drafted him and they suck every possible way, and he's just sad. So he got a 10-minute major for saying something to the ref about how he should have called the call and didn't. So and then unfortunately Patrick Kane still got it, and I miss Kaner a lot on the Blackhawks because he was between Taves and Kaner. They were like the most amazing front line for the Blackhawks. Right now, I believe he's with Detroit, which even hurts even more. He's a Red Wing right now, I believe. But he scored 5 points the other night in one game, which is 2 goals and 3 assists. So,
what is a record
for in a game?
Yeah.
Oh shit, I don't know.
Is it a lot?
I would assume
probably a big deal. I mean, they don't regularly get hat tricks, right?
No, but that wasn't a hat trick.
No, I'm just saying. Yeah, you said it was 2 goals and then 3 assists. So, but I was just wondering that just for hockey knowledge,
Yeah.
Chicago, this is a sad state of affairs. Can we get something? Some
Daryl Sittler in 76 had 10 points.
Okay.
For most goals, it's also him with 6 of those, or 10 of those points being 6 goals. And then from there, it's like 8.
Really is 6 goals.
Yeah. Which would have been annoying if he had like the most points, but like they were all assists and he didn't have any goals.
27 assists. It's like, okay, but all he did was pass really good.
Yeah. Which is great, but also like you cheated. We had it also an NHL. Go
the
ahead.
highest scoring points in the NFL is.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. Also in the NHL, we had a Superman punch.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. He proceeded to lose the fight though, so that's pretty lame. You
Not cool.
don't Superman punch and then lose a fight. What are you doing?
You can't do that at all. It's like I always thought I'd want to come out to why can't we be friends? But then you have to win because then you look like an idiot if you come out to some stupid ass song.
Yeah.
Get your ass whooped.
Right. And then he dislocated his thumb and then was seen later in the penalty box relocating his thumb.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty badass.
No, not winning the fight though, dude. Come on.
Yeah, you needed to. Yeah.
Doing a Superman punch, you better knock that dude clean out.
Yeah.
Some of the hockey fighting is for show. I can see it. They just look at each other like, "Oh, yep, okay." It's like, come on.
And then it's usually a tackle and throw you to the ground.
Like you could see the hatred in their eyes.
Yeah.
I want to see you.
Florida Panthers still lead, and they're looking like favorites again to win the.
How hurtful is it in the hockey world that Florida is the best team at the sport?
Yeah.
They don't even have ice.
And then Ovechkin's 8 goals away from the record, which is pretty crazy that's going to get broken. That's been around for a while.
Yeah, and the one that said it was like Ryan told me before, this is the great one. So
yeah,
you're beating the greatest hockey player ever.
And in local hockey news, Ryan secured the number 33 as he wanted. That's my sports number. So I was happy to get it back.
That's cool. They killed 3 people.
33 times.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's hockey news. There's obviously lots of games going on. Hockey playoff start, which is like one of my favorite. That's usually better when the Blackhawks are in it, but one of my favorite times of the year is when that starts picking up because it's some fun hockey. Players laying on the ice, taking pucks to block them, getting stitched back up, going right back out. It's crazy and fun and aggressive, and I love it.
When are the hockey playoffs?
I believe they start April.
And how do they do the playoffs?
Best of 7.
Best of 7?
Yep.
In each round?
Yep. And it might be 5 to start.
It's weird in the NBA, right? They do kind of...
all 4 rounds, best 4 out of 7.
Okay. Because in the NBA, it's like best of 5, and then it goes to best of 7 when you get to the final.
Just like baseball's best of 5 till the World Series, right? Official World
I don't know.
Game.
Does it now? Yeah, it was.
But it's half the league. It's 16 teams make it. 8 per conference, I think. Yeah, 8 per conference. Because didn't the NBA flirt with the idea of there not being conferences and it just being like whatever top teams in general, like a couple years back?
Yeah, I think that's why they're testing that tournament in season tournament, because that's kind of what that is, right? It's more like the NCAA instead of it being,
which probably produces the best basketball, right?
Yeah, because then you can you go by seedings instead of, you know what I mean? You can do it's easier to have good matchups, I think, that way.
Yeah. But yeah, that starts April 17th, so mid-April.
Cool. So next month.
Yeah.
So it's getting important.
Yeah. Last few games, and that still gives him Ovechkin plenty of time. I don't know if his record includes playoff goals, though.
Do they play how often? Every day, every other day? Do they have a game?
Every other.
Okay. So even if it's like playoffs, it would play.
Yeah, I believe it's day on, day off, day on, travel, day on, day off, day on, day off, travel, day on, travel, day on. So I think they do the 2 home, 2 away, 1 home, 1 away, 1 home. So 4 for the better seed and 3 for the lower seed.
Gotcha.
I
Cool.
think that's how baseball is, I believe, too, where it does the 2. But I love hockey playoffs because they're just
I like that they tinker with it. I like anything. I like the NBA.
everybody will have beards
Yeah.
because
I like. Yeah, there's a lot of I think hockey more than maybe baseball, but like that superstitious stuff,
yeah, because beards are
like they
playoff time.
offs and yeah,
Yeah, you don't shave
like
during the
same.
playoffs.
Yeah, they're crazy about that stuff.
Yeah,
Stanley Cup, like guys that have never won it won't be in the same room with it and stuff.
yeah.
Like
Don't touch it. Don't get anywhere near it.
yeah, um, baseball's got a lot of that too, but not quite like that. Uh,
Theirs are more like unspoken rules. I feel like in
yeah,
baseball.
don't step on lines,
Yeah,
yada yada yada. I like learning about hockey though. It's cool because it is very intense during the playoffs.
yeah. Max starts up here soon with his hockey. I'll start up soon with my hockey.
Yeah.
And I think I overheard you saying something about we're taking him to the Storm game, which will be fun.
Yep. Yeah, very cool. He
And
likes
then,
hockey.
yeah. I'll also be his. I apparently signed up to be his soccer coach, which I know nothing about soccer.
And neither does he. So
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna watch Kicking and Screaming and dress just like Will Ferrell.
or Mike Ditka, isn't he in that?
Yeah, he is. He's the neighbor that ends up teaching Will Ferrell how to coach.
There you go. Just watch it and learn.
Yeah. But I
All
think
those.
showing up in the jumpsuit with the like
I know you
sheriff's
mean business.
glasses. Yeah, yeah.
A clipboard.
Yeah. All right, who's ready to win some 4-year-old soccer? But
That's
he's
cool
loving
though.
it. He's wanting to play every sport, so
I hope that my daughter is into sports because I would love to be part of coaching and
yeah.
development of youth is fun. I think it's cool.
Especially like the flag football stuff's supposed to be is becoming a big thing too for like high school and collegiate sports for girls too, which is kind of cool.
There's basically everything for the girls now.
Yeah.
Wrestling and was like huge for girls.
Mhm.
Obviously, this is the center of the universe for women's basketball, or kind of was for the last few years anyway. No, that I think that we're in a good spot for any of the sports that she wants to play.
Yeah.
Yeah. That being said, we got some stuff coming up on the docket. We will be talking about. We need to start doing some ratings of stuff around town, right?
Yeah. I also want to do like Mount Rushmore. So if you want to, we can do one tonight. Mount Rushmore pizza toppings.
Oh, pizza toppings?
Yep.
Yeah, let's go for it right now.
All right. You want me to go first? You want to go first? I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
you go first.
shoot off 4 top ones. All right. So pepperoni is like my
Let's go
solid go-to. Back and forth.
forth.
All right. So I'll
Yeah.
go pepperoni first.
Pepperoni's in mine too.
Yeah.
That's like my go-to pizza. That's what I've had the most in my life, other than the cheese toppings, which I don't think cheese would.
Yeah, and I was thinking about this too. Like cheese is gonna stay.
Every pizza's a cheese pizza, folks.
Yeah. Actually, there's tomato pizzas, which
pizza
is
is a plain pizza. That is not a pizza. Flatbread with tomato paste on it.
Second one, new favorite lately, and it goes with my first one. Hot honey.
Oh, Mount Rushmore?
Yes, I eat it. That's my go-to pizza. Is the pepperoni hot honey pizza.
Sweet and salty.
Yeah, and a little
And
heat. Lopez does it great.
I'm gonna go with mushrooms because you can put them with any of the other toppings. To me, because I like mushrooms, but I do realize mushrooms are love it or hate it. There is no kind of like mushrooms.
I feel like mushrooms are easy to sneak into things.
For sure, if you like them, they're good.
Yeah, growing up, we my parents put so they didn't have to put as much meat in the spaghetti. They put mushrooms.
Yeah.
So that was always something we had, it was like
For sure.
canned ones that had like no texture, but
Right. I remember going out because in the area we live, we get morel mushrooms. We go out in the forest with like a salt shaker and just eating them right off of the ground.
Yeah.
Just leave it on the end so they don't eat the dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, just so I'm a big mushroom fan. That's why mushrooms would be number 2.
All right. For me, number 3 would be I'd have to go Italian sausage. Not this crappy quad. I know I hate it on it all the time, but this crappy Quad City style fennel sausage is not it. The Italian like circle sausages, like round ball ones that you'd get from Papa John's or Domino's or Pizza Hut type sausage is what I like.
I'm in the same boat with you, sir.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm not completely. Italian sausage, phones, use it.
Yeah. Is that your 3 as well?
I get like the regional, but
there's also too much of it on the pizzas.
They made it with Italian sausage for 1,000 years for a reason.
It comes from Italy. Just
They invented it.
Just figure it out.
You're just trying to do cultural appropriation.
Yeah.
What's idiots? Use the Italian sausage like it was intended to be made. And put mushrooms on it.
Yeah.
It would also go with that. No. Sausage mushroom would go well. That was kind of the other go-to besides if it was just pepperoni. I'd go either just regular pepperoni or sausage mushroom.
Yeah.
That's my 3. Italian sausage so far.
Okay. So 4 for me. This is tough because my go-to is like either pepperoni and honey or Hawaiian. But I think what makes the pineapple. I'm going to go pineapple as number 4. It's on my Mount Rushmore.
Oh, this is, I mean, I don't know how many listeners we have or what, but this is going to be controversial.
Yeah.
There's like 50-50.
This will be a TikTok clip and people yell at me, but.
Yeah. 50-50 it belongs on a pizza or not.
Sweet and salty is so good though. Like I'll do pineapple with sausage or like Canadian bacon.
Personally. And I'm like just like maybe I guess a purist, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
It's like not even a purist, just the basics, I will say. Plain. Like I wouldn't say purist. I shouldn't have said that. I just meant like not very much on the palate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want any exciting flavors on my
That's just for whatever listeners we have or people that will see this, Michael orders chicken strips everywhere he goes.
Yeah. Just aside, my wife is leaving town and she asked me, "What do you want me to get for groceries?" And I said, not having anything to do with that question, what would you get for a 5-year-old that you're leaving at home for a week by himself? Obviously, nothing to do with the question you just asked. Just wondering for a friend.
Yeah. So
that's what.
What do you want me to feed Sonny all week?
Yeah, that's what I will be eating as well.
Just make it for 2, please.
Sauce and Dino Nuggets. Honestly though, that's funny because I would say like chicken would be one of my others because I do like the chicken bacon ranch pizzas. Those would be like the exciting flavor.
I was going to ask you, what do you think about chicken Alfredo pizza?
I love it. I'm a big fan, and
it's not all the time, but
it's kind of like my gourmet pizza stuff, because in California there's California Pizza Kitchen, and all their pizzas are like that stuff, unique, kind of blending of flavors. And
now, while at a pizza restaurant, are you going shake cheese, and are you doing crushed red peppers or no?
No crushed red peppers. I'm not a spicy guy.
See, I like going crushed red peppers.
Yeah. My wife does like spices as well. And nowadays, dude, I can't even eat pepper. It gives me heartburn so bad. So I have to eat sausage and mushroom everywhere I go. And I'm lactose intolerant, so the cheese.
It's funny. As of a couple minutes ago, Lindsay was actually in the TikTok.
Oh, she was.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing down there? Just checking on me,
making sure you're actually still podcasting.
Yeah. Walter Payton episode 34. It's been actually again hard to stay not optimistic because they make they made the right moves interiorly. I think. I mean, I was surprised by some moves, but the hottest center on the market was the one we got. So that's exciting that he came to Bears,
The officially Bears fans, we have won another offseason Super Bowl, and we'll see you next year.
Yeah. We're not going to have another podcast till this time next year.
And we'll see how it goes. Well, we got to get through the draft too.
Yeah. But I'm trying to keep my expectations down until we start winning games.
Yeah.
And games in a row. You know what I mean? I want streaks.
Yeah.
I want fluky stuff. I want to see
I want Will Ferrell memes.
And it's going to take time, right? Ben Johnson's in Detroit for a couple of years before they started consistently winning.
Yeah. I want Will Ferrell memes. We're going streaking.
Yeah. They're behind me. They're streaking through the quad.
I haven't watched that movie in a while. I want to watch it. That's such a good one.
Like, get in the car.
Yeah.
Our friends are with. Worst case scenario. A naked man drunk. His wife pulling up with her friends in the car. Oh my God, it's so small. That's what they say. Okay. Oh, that being said, this has been episode 34. We always like to thank Julie Burheit and Lindsay O'Brien for giving us the time to do this. Because they own our souls. And we're only allowed to do what they allow us to do.
We get this 1 hour a week.
Yeah.
That's it. And we went over the time and we're probably going to get murdered.
It's like maximum security here. To take this down, it's just like 6x6 cell.
Yeah.
I live in.
That's why I was pushed further into this corner.
Yeah. Like, you know what? I don't like you walking around all that much. You get your hour. That's it. But yeah, we're always happy to talk about the Bears. We will have some guests on though, because we do want to be talking about sports around the Quad Cities coming up. More wrestling. We're gonna have some wrestlers on from Honor Among Wrestling. We'll have some from the local sports.
Shout out to Honor Among Wrestling too. Sold out event last week or 2 weeks ago. Last week was that?
I think it was 2 weeks ago.
I don't even know what the friggin' date is anymore.
Yeah, I'm working too much.
Yeah.
Talk to some people from the Steam Wheelers, possibly some the local sports, esports from St. Ambrose, possibly anybody we can get on. And if you want to be a part of the podcast, just join on live and talk to us there, and maybe we can get you on us.
You can also feel free to reach out to our email, barely maintaining podcast at gmail.
Yeah. Yep, we're always looking for people to have on and talk about sports, of all kind. And learn new stuff too. So, I'd like to talk to people about guns and stuff that I don't really regularly talk about,
Yeah.
So, archery.
That'd be cool.
Greco-Roman wrestling.
Yeah. I had another story I want to talk about real quick.
Yeah.
Did you see the halftime show Pump? The Spot on Pump, where he did it was like a halftime show and they had a gas pump and he had one shot to make it $25 and he did it.
Wow.
Yeah. It was it was really funny just to see I play that game in my head all the time just at the gas station.
I can tell you how hard it is because I put $25 in my demo pretty much a week.
Yeah.
That's what I try to do. But I always stop short because I'm not going over. Okay.
It's $24.98 all the time.
No, it's like $24.92 because I'm conservative. I'm like, it's at 70.
Not even the full.
I don't have the guts.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's amazing.
Yeah. The whole crowd just lit up and it was hilarious.
They should have had him stop on 26.42 or something random.
Yeah. It's a random number.
Extra hard.
26.42,
and then you got to get the other points too. 46662.
Yeah, big changes coming soon. I know Michael's trying to work on his studio area a little bit more. I'm working on mine, as you can see. Yeah. I'm shoved into a corner now because I opened up the other area for some actual podcast, a comfortable interview area while it's still somewhat close to the screen instead of being a mile away from the screen. So it'll all be nice.
Yeah. And also, if we got listeners out there, if you're paying attention to the podcast, Ryan has another podcast you can check out too. So if you're into stories about parenting, advice, all that stuff, check out the what's it called? The
Dad's Mental Playbook.
Dad's Mental Playbook, which is a cool name, because that's kind of what it is too.
I got a book coming out soon.
That's cool. Yeah, I got a book coming out, and just talking to talking about to other parents about what we're all going through, because it's all very similar, but all very personal too, and unique to each, but very similar too. So
yeah,
got an interview
for that this week too.
Yeah, especially when you got like a under 1-year-old that not communicating, it's like you're guessing at everything.
Yeah.
Is it gas? Is it teeth? Is it cold?
My thing right now is Max is saying the same joke 10 times over, and I have to like tell him politely that his joke isn't funny.
Yeah, at a certain point, you've killed it.
Yeah.
This is a dead horse. You are beating it. You love horses?
He's playing video games with me now too, which is pretty fun.
Take him to this farm. See this beautiful horse? Do you like to see him dead and you just beating on his dead body? Oh no! Quit telling me it's a damn joke. Okay.
He's been playing the today. He was playing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game. The other on Game Pass, the Shredder's Revenge or whatever it was. Julie set like a timer for him to play, and after the timer went off, he's like, "I just need to lay down and rest. My thumbs are tired."
Welcome to the gaming world, kid.
Arthritis in the thumbs.
Pushing until it hurts more and more. I remember getting blisters, being like, "Shit,
yeah,
how am I gonna do this?"
Gotta callus those.
Yeah. Oh, is that me? Play the outro music here. We'll see you folks next week, episode 35. We'll talk about more free agency moves, I'm sure. Draft coming up, more sports around the country, and maybe have a guest on. We don't know. Let you know when we know. That being said, thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next week.